Hi everyone, the Lord bless you. Welcome to Kingdom Upgrades YouTube channel. I am your ambassador, Dylan Vogt. Like and subscribe to this channel to hear and know more of our content. Today's content, we are walking as the wise. Let's jump into this. I'm in Proverbs chapter 2, verses 3 and 4 today. This is all inclusive. And today being the Republic of Guyana, I want to say to Guyana, let's walk as the wise. Let's be wise. Let's walk circumspect in this hour. Okay? Verse 3. Yes, if you cry out for insight and lift up your voice for understanding, if you seek skillful and godly wisdom, as you would silver, and search for her as you would hidden treasures. The verses are saying here to us, if we cry out for insight, the New King James Version has it, cry out for discernment, meaning insight, the ability to perceive, to see, to have an understanding, to have acuity. Okay, if you cry out for insight and you lift up your voice for understanding, mean when you cry out for insight and you have insight and discernment, you become understanding in heart. Your heart is one of that is understanding. So you would have an understanding heart as well as you would have insight, which is wisdom. And if you seek skillfully, seek. To seek means diligently search for something. You're looking for something energetic. You're looking for something in haste. You're seeking. You're constantly going after. Seek skillful, godly wisdom as you would silver. Meaning we go to the interior. We're a nation that has gold and diamond. And we seek. We know what it is to seek for gold. Persons go into the interior and they seek gold. They go after what they desire, the gold. So if you would seek wisdom as you would silver or gold, and search for her as you would hidden treasures, because gold and silver and diamond, they are hidden treasure. And we go searching for them. We go seeking diamond seekers and gold. They go seeking. They go spend long hours in the interior, long years and days, living in areas that is not comfortable and condition that is not comfortable because they want to find gold. And that is hidden treasure. So if we would seek and cry out to God for godly wisdom and discernment, insight, the way we do for gold and silver, we will have it. Come on, we would have it. Let's search for her. Wisdom is treasure. Seek wisdom. Pursue wisdom. Pursue her. That is the pursuit of God. Wisdom is both a God-given gift and the fruit of an energetic search. Wisdom is a God-given gift and the fruit of an energetic search. So it is saying here, the energetic search for God, meaning the pursuit for God, which is the pursuit of wisdom. Because in the pursuit for God or going after God, it is the pursuit of wisdom. It is a gift of God as a result of our search for God. So in our pursuit for God and going after God, desiring God, it is a pursuit for wisdom. Because in the process of pursuing and going after God, come on, you will become wise. What this is saying to us, the search is a reward. The search is rewarded with the gift of wisdom. Going after God and pursuing God is rewarded by the gift of wisdom. So you're rewarded with wisdom on your pursuit, which is the fruit of one's pursuit of God. In pursuit of God, The fruit, the gift that is evident is wisdom. Listen to this. God's wisdom is hidden from the rebellious and foolish. Come on. God's wisdom is hidden from the rebellious and the foolish. One who is rebellious and foolish is one who is considered to be self-confident or have self-confidence, have confidence in themselves instead of trusting and depending and looking to God. The word of God declares, in all thy ways acknowledge the Lord and he will direct our path. So in our search and our pursuit, it ought to be in God and asking him, because when we acknowledge him, he will direct our path. To acquire God's wisdom, it requires humility. Come on. It requires us being humble. Humility is when you're in a place whereby you desire to be helped. You need to be helped. You need help because you don't know. You're humbling yourself because you're like a little child now. It's like, I'm lost and I need direction. I need help. So to acquire God's wisdom, it requires humility. God's wisdom appears foolish to the natural mind. Come on. And the natural man, the ungenerated mind, the wisdom of God appears to be foolishness. Paul said in Romans chapter 12 verse 2, be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you will prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God for your lives. Because it is only in the transformation of our mind, or when our minds are transformed, that we are able to know what is that good, acceptable, and perfect will of God for our lives. Come on. Individually and collectively. Ephesians chapter 4, verses 22 and 3. This is what it says to us. That you put off, because in our pursuit and pursuing God, Romans chapter 2 verse 12 talks here about being renewed in our mind. Being renewed by being renewed in our mind by being transformed. And Ephesians chapter 4 is telling us here that our mind, chapter 4 verse 23, be renewed in the spirit of your mind. Let's go from verse 22. That you put off concerning your former conduct. So it is speaking here about the old and the new. That you put off your former conduct. Mean you change from what you used to do. Your old way of living. You put off concerning your former conduct. The old man which grows corrupt according to the deceitful lust. So the old nature continue to grow in corruption. And it is deceitful because of lust. Lust of the eye, lust of the flesh, pride of life. Okay? So lust and the deceitful lust, our old man grow in corruption. So it is corrupt. Verse 23, and be renewed in the spirit of your mind. So it is speaking here about a renewed mind. In the spirit of your mind. Be renewed in the spirit of your mind. It's talking about a regenerated mind that will able to prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. Because it is only in the renewed mindset that you're able to prove you have an understanding, you have insight. Because God's ways differ from that of ours. And God's ways can appears to be foolishness to the natural man, the carnal man. That is why it's important for the transformation, so that we will be able to have an insight and be able to discern what is the perfect will of God for our lives individually and collectively. Verse 24, and that you put on the new man which was created according to God. So it is saying here that we have a nature that is of God, but we have to put it on. And we have one that is not of God. So if we're going to move from the old into the new, the corrupt nature, it is speaking of the carnal way, the way that we think things should be done and how we see life and how we think it should be done, the carnal way, the man's way of doing it. But here, if we're being renewed and we put on which the new man which is created according to God. So there is a renewing, a new creation in God, in true righteousness and holiness. Come on. In true righteousness and holiness, because God is a righteous God. He's a holy God. He is one that he is truth. And unless we come to the place and be in the place where God desires for us to be, we would not be able to walk in some things that we hear about and we would have heard of in the past, because God's ways differ from that of ours, and his principles and standards, he do not compromise. So he would not come down to our standards. We have to meet his standards and his precepts and principles to be able to walk in and have and possess what he has for us, or what is decreed according to his word and his promise. James chapter 1 tells us how to profit from trials. We are well taught, but are we really learning? Come on. The word of God is the manual for our lives. And the word of God is a teacher for our lives. It guides us. And we are well taught by the word of God, because everything is in the word. But revelation knowledge is what is the barrier in this hour. Because the revealed word of God is what make the word of God become applicable. Come on. It is the revealed word of God that make it to be applicable and livable, become a reality. Because it is the revealed word, it is the revelation of God that God will build us up, build his church and establish us as an individual, as a family, as a church, as a community, as a nation. Come on. Nothing is being established outside of the precepts and the principles of God. So hear what James chapter 1 verse 5 has to say. If any man or anyone lacks wisdom, let him ask of God, who gave to all liberally and without reproach, and it will be given him. Listen to this secret. God is going to give us wisdom. He will give it to us freely. But wisdom is acquired in the pursuit of God. He will give it liberally, freely. What God will give is given in pursuit. Meaning, he charters our course. Come on. In pursuit, he charters our course. And in the pursuit, while the course is chartered, we have to live in the process, in the moment. A lot of us, when we're in situations, James tells us about profiting in trials. When a situation arises, we get all confused and flustered, and we just want to come out. It's like hot water. It's burning. You want to come out. Instead, see what's happening in the situation. Don't be too hurried to come out. Okay? I'm going to read verse 2 and 2, 3, and 4 just now and show us. So it's important for us to stay, be in the pursuit of God, and in the process, he charters our course. So in the process of the course being chartered, you will acquire, there will be an acquiring of wisdom, direction, guidance. In the process, that's why we have to trust the process. Learn to trust the process. A lot of times you just want to run out. I want this to be over with. I want change immediately. And that's this mindset of the carnal man, an ungenerated mindset. That is why the Apostle Paul said, be renewed in the spirit of your mind. Okay? So we want to get out fast. Hurry up. I want this to be over with. So there it is saying to us here, experience teacheth wisdom. We know this saying where we hear, experience teacheth wisdom. That is the fact. Experience teaches wisdom. In the process, in your pursuit, experience is what makes the difference. Because in the pursuit, the experience will teach you along the way, and you will acquire wisdom. Come on. You will acquire wisdom. Hear what verses 2, 3, and 4 has to say to us of James chapter 1. My brethren, Count it all joy when you fall into various trials, knowing that the testing of your faith produces patience. Come on. You're being processed, you're being made over in the process of the pursuit of God. Knowing that the testing of your faith produces patience. But let patience have its perfect work, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking nothing. So in your pursuit, when God is charting our course, okay, count it all joy, knowing that in the testing and while you're being tested and the process, that your faith will produce patience. Come on. And let patience have its perfect work, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking nothing. So it is saying us here to us actually that in the process of what you're going through, your patience, while you're being patient, your faith will help you, because in the process, if you have faith and you're believing and you're trusting in God, because this is uncharted waters, it's a course that you're not familiar with. Situations arise that you're not familiar with. And this is happening to the entire world. We're not familiar with. But have faith in God, and in the process, your faith will produce patience. Okay? And let patience have its perfect work. Because when the patience is working, it will have its perfect work. And in that process, you may be made perfect and complete. Mande kasatai, perfect and complete, lacking nothing. So you will be made anew, made over, out when you come out of the trial. It will be a perfect work. You will come out of that a renewed person mentally, thinking different and seeing life from a different perspective. Come on. That is what happens literally. So I'm saying to Guyana, everything happens for a purpose. Nothing just don't happen. Nothing does just happen. Everything that happens for a purpose. There is a reason. And a lot of times we miss it. We miss the purpose. We miss the plan of God. God never promised that it would be smooth sailing. But we just want to be comfortable all the time in our comfort zone. But brainstorm, stir critical thinking. When there is a brainstorm, you're not supposed to be flustering and getting confused, but rather think. And think critical. Come on. Think critical and allow patience to have our work. Let your faith produce patience. And let patience have her perfect work. And you and I will come out perfect and complete, lacking nothing. The Lord bless you. Shalom. Happy